Peace and blessings, beloved. This is Reverend Empress Chakra Wanda. You can call me Mama Wanda. You can ask Mama Wanda as well. Today is Wednesday, February the 4th. And I'm sending this transmission out after spending time just listening. You say listening to what? Listening to spirit. And I'm tired, y'all. I'm tired. I feel overwhelmed. I feel full, like my throat chakra just wants to explode. And I'm talking directly about what is happening, what we are observing in our country. Now, from a third dimensional view, just straightforward reality of what's happening around us, I see that. I want to speak to those who are empathic, who are healers, who are highly sensitive people. And some of you, just from either the title that I put on this broadcast or out of curiosity, you may resonate with this vibration. You might resonate with my voice. You might even feel what I'm getting ready to say. Okay. Here's the deal. Yes, we are on this planet and we are seeing the third dimensional reality of what's happening around us. The chaos and how that's building up. And I want to bring to attention in this present moment, if you are one who is feeling this energetically, you don't intentionally look at the news, right? But because we have these devices, we have, communication devices all around us all the time. But even if you are being busy and trying to ignore it, you cannot help but feel the collective pressure. All right? Because you're an energetic being. Why I'm not showing myself? Because that's not important for you to see. This is the listening room. Years ago, when I would live stream on Periscope, I used to have something called the listening room. And Spirit has brought upon my heart to activate that. Just speak, just share. Because it's not important that you see an image. It's important that you hear. So my highly sensitive people, my empathics, my healers, I want you to move forward. See yourself in a room right now and you just come into the building, you're sitting in a room, you come forward, okay? And everybody else, love y'all. Have a seat if it's interesting or intriguing enough. And just listen. For everybody else, keep it moving. Just swipe, right? Because this transmission is not something, not a meal that you may appreciate. So again, I am Reverend Empress Chakra Wanda. I am a spiritual encourager. I am a metaphorical oracle. I am a woman of wisdom, an elder. I am an ageless spirit. And I'm speaking to the energy that is palpable, that no matter who you see yourself as, what you decided to do on November 5th, whether you consider yourself woke, ah, and many people say they woke, but they broke. Many people say they woke, but they broke in. Many people say they woke, but they're not willing to be broken up within, right? Yeah, yeah, it's the truth. Navigating under this current pressure. How do we do that? Some of you have been on the journey of awakening for some time. And some of you maybe are curious about it, or maybe you were on your path of awakening and got away from it. And some of you are newbies at that idea, right? I want to just directly address the collective energy that we're all experiencing. In previous broadcasts, I intend to post this on the platforms that I feel I'm posted where Spirit says to post it. Okay. And so I've had some previous postings talking about vicarious trauma. Okay. Vicarious trauma, Google it, but in essence, it is the effects of witnessing, hearing about uh, suppression or others' tragedies or traumas, and how it impacts you directly. Depression, restlessness in sleeping, um, the mind going all the time, right? And these are conversations that I've been having. The subject of number 47 and those that are in charge now is a constant conversation. And again, you in the audience where it's not a constant conversation and you going about your business and everything is cool with you. This, hey, I'm not knocking it, but there's an opposite realm. And it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you that are empaths, highly, sensitive people. As a matter of fact, your superpower is that you are able to feel and hear, okay? And sense and know. It's not your imagination, baby. And a side note, in order for me to continue in this broadcast, I have to imagine that I'm talking just to one or two people. So I'm going to put in my mind's eye that I'm talking to one of my sacred spiritual sister friends, sis, or a brother. I don't have male energies that I can have this kind of conversation with, in my circle, maybe one or two, but it's mostly been the divine feminine. So sis, brother, look, this is crazy, right? I'm tired. And I have to remind myself, like an elevator, right? Looking at the chakras, the energy centers in my body. I have to remind myself that I'm witnessing this on the third dimension, which is, it really is one of the lowest dimensions of all dimensions. We are multidimensional beings, and there are at least 10 or 11 dimensions. Okay. That's another topic. Google it. But those that know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying. All right. I'm standing in front of the elevator on the third dimension. And I'm having, with what we're going through, having to push the button to go to the higher dimensions, fourth, fifth, and beyond. And remind myself to go into that space. in biblical terms would be like going into the upper room. You got to go into the higher plane in order to navigate what is happening around us. In 2020, I felt like we were on the Titanic in the middle of the Twilight Zone. Now, you can't ignore what's happening, what you feel. So how do we process this? We're in vicarious trauma. Okay? So I is called in nature to be a healer. My journey as a healer has taken me out of the traditional 9 to 5 corporate job, into the healing arena, using my hands in different ways into the creative arena, listening in the spirit. My gifts are clairaudient, spiritual hearing, and claircognizant, spiritual knowing. And in this present moment, I can't stay quiet because the pressure causes me, and I know others, to want to speak on this and to use what we have been trained and and positioned as healers, spiritual guides and teachers to rise up to. We must be speaking about how to navigate and keep our nervous systems and our minds in the right place, right? To navigate through what's going on. You can tap into the world, yeah, pay attention to who you listen to, what you're listening to. There's so much out there. I've made a choice to tap into the voice of politics through one particular, person that in the spirit I feel is representing the people, and that's Representative Jasmine Crockett. Outside of that, I'm not looking at anything else, but I look at to see what's happening. I tap in and I tap out. And that's it from the third dimension. All right. But I got to get on the elevator and go higher to the realm of power that I understand. And we need that power. Hmm? We need the power of the heavenly realm. We need the power of our angelic team that's assigned to each and every one of us according to Psalms 91:11. We need the power of the divine as activated within us, the divine, the creator, whatever you want to call, okay? Put a name on, okay? However you want to rock with it, okay? Our certain structures have been falling for a long time. And one of the main structures is the religious structure. And no disrespect. If you rock with that, that's cool, but we all in the same boat. So let's come to the higher place of understanding, doing what's necessary for you in navigating this. And for those of us that are led in the spirit, we have to operate. We have to go up into the higher realms in order to navigate this thing. Tell me I'm wrong. So here it is. How do we keep ourselves healed? Remember, yes, if you have to physically go out and beat the street, if you are like like the representatives that are on in the street, on, right in the face, and you have a calling to do that, that's great. If you're a lawyer that's on the behalf of the people, that's great. If you are in the military and you're helping to protect us, that's great. There's some of us that are writers that And some of us are speakers, and then there's many that are operating from the heart chakra. Okay, if you know what I'm saying, you know. Those who are sitting up front, come up a little bit closer. Okay, yes, we must call on that we've been called to do, to operate on all these realms together. Okay, so look, I just did my anointing with the oil of forgiveness. I use Young Living, and I anointed my crown and my aura as I sat down to open up this transmission. And I also am using the oil of release. The oil of forgiveness is, I forgive myself for being reluctant, for being apprehensive, for being not wanting to speak, on these here social media streets. And I had to be reminded, but look, here's the deal, when you've been called to do a thing, you better do that thing. Because every day is not promised. This transmission is going to help at least one person. I absolutely know it will. And not just today, but for the years to come. So it must be imprinted in the Akasha, okay? The etheric in this present moment. So I'm going to be sharing with you messages that I hear in the spirit, or messages, and if there's a messenger that I hear that's got something that's they're communicating very clearly, then I'm gonna bring it to the listening room. And so there is something I want you to listen to. I want you to take a deep breath as I get ready to pull this up. I want you to take your hands and put it right there, right up beneath your heart, around your solar plexus and heart, okay? And just breathe, 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 breathe. So this teacher is Lisa Wetsel, and on underneath this transmission in description on my YouTube, I will put this broadcast. I will put it's she is sharing a message from the higher realms, and I believe it's going to deeply resonate and provide some aha moments to assist many of what's going on right now. She's speaking about a massive energy shift happening now, right? Give me a moment to get this queued up.
I'm Lisa Wetsel, and I channel information from the Akashic Records. And we are at the beginning of February. And I wanted just to give everybody an update from the Akashic Masters to where we are as far as the energy and the shifts and the changes that are going on. So I'm going to ask the records at this time, what is the current message that they would like for us to know at this particular time. What we want you to know is that you are all undergoing a significant change. We want you to see that the evidence is paramount. What you'll begin to recognize and what you will see is that the turmoil or the emotional chaos that each and every one of you has been going through is an upgrade. We want you to understand that as the past few months have created upsets, upheaval, and topsy-turvy energy, you'll begin to understand that it is extremely important for you to sit still and allow the energy to transmute and transform who you are as human beings. We want you to recognize that the significance of who you are at this particular time is emphasizing the existence of the heart. We are wanting you to understand that you have been moved into a new dimension of consciousness. The 3D realm is dissipating, and the fifth dimensional realm of consciousness is being implemented. What we want you to see is that you have all undergone transformation in ways that you can't currently recognize at this particular moment, but you will begin to recognize that in the days to come, you're seeing life differently. The viewpoints that you once had may be shifting. You'll understand that individuals or situations will become more uncomfortable when they're not in alignment with who you are meant to be on a vibrational frequency. You'll begin to recognize that your sleep patterns have changed and you may be requiring more sleep or less sleep. We want you to understand that this is a vibrational frequency that is shifting and adjusting the mind's consciousness, but also the physical body. The attributes of the vibrational frequency that has been emitted within each individual is allowing the mind to deconstruct the way that it once was and the physical body to reconstruct in the way that it is going to be. We want you to understand that this is significant for your growth. If you're finding that you are having ailments, understand that this is purposeful. We want you to see that the illnesses that are going around the universe at this particular time are meaningful in order to find the ability for the human to settle still and allow the energy to transmute through them and disperse what is no longer needed. We're asking you to hold on to the truth of who you're becoming and do not let go. We recognize that the struggle for many humans has been of the mental capacity, and that they may be finding themselves going into a sad or distant place. You also will recognize that there are many of you that have confusion and not knowing which way or which direction to go. You may feel as if you're wandering aimlessly within the night. But what we also want you to recognize is that you're being redirected to walk in different routes than what you have before. And what I'm seeing is a roundabout, and that you may be going down the road and you hit a roundabout and you're going around the roundabout in your car, but you're not sure which exit to take. But what you're going to find is that the exit is coming to you in a way that you will see clearly. And I'm seeing a big sign that says exit here. And you'll begin to understand that that's the exit that you will need to take in order to find the future that is of much more peace and relevance to who you are. We also want you to understand that you are becoming more of an enlightened being than what you have ever existed in before. We also want you to see that the negativity and the pessimistic attitudes will also lessen. You'll begin to see things with a more bright future than what you've seen in the past, with more happiness and joy. This is transpiring, and it's happening at this particular moment.
Hey, check out these 3 overlooked signs of stuck mucus in your lungs. Top scientists at the Cleveland Clinic discovered something shocking.
We also want you to recognize that the heavy energy that is being emitted at this particular time on a universal level will soon subside. You'll begin to recognize that within 3 to 6 months, your shifting will have either occurred in a lesser amount, or else it'll be more significant depending on the growth pattern that you're in. But what we do want you to see is that within the 6-month time period, you'll see monumental changes that will occur within your mindset and the way of your physical structure, meaning that the cellular activity, the body is shifting and changing to be more in alignment of what this energy pattern is, which means that spontaneous healing. You may find that illnesses that have been plaguing you for some time may shift, and you'll see that the ability to heal will become faster and grander. But we also want you to recognize that there are some illnesses that are not meant to change, as they have karmic patterns that they're tied to, so that you can see what needs to shift and change within you. So we want you to understand is that there may be some illnesses that will heal spontaneously, but there may be some that will linger on. If you have an illness that is continuing to linger, recognize that it is tied to some form of energetic pattern that needs to be broken. We also want you to recognize that they're not all meant to be broken, as this is a pattern or a course for each individual's life. But what we do want you to see is that the shifting and the letting go of the past, I'm seeing is paramount. There's going to be relocations. Individuals will find that they're no longer comfortable in the environment that they may be residing within. They're going to find that they are no longer comfortable in the conversations that they may be having with specific individuals. They may find that it's uncomfortable to watch and hear certain words that are being spoken, and I'm seeing like TVs and news, social media, propaganda, basically. And they're saying, regardless of what side you choose to believe, recognize that there is always a neutral center ground that is more in balance with who we are than what either side is. In other words, be careful about what you listen to. That's going to take you to a negative place. We also want you to recognize that the systems that are being magnified are meant to break down certain ideas and belief systems so that the shift in the universe, the way that individuals implement their lives, industry, and the functions of the earth are changing rapidly. And this is what is occurring at this particular time. We ask you to hold on to the truth of who you are, find the love and the compassion that lies within you, and understand that this is the truth. You are shedding the old skin like a snake sheds its skin. You are doing as well. You're transforming into new individuals that are more in balance with the love of all things. You'll recognize that the earth will begin to bloom in ways that it hasn't before, and the sunlight will begin to shine brighter than it ever has. We recognize that the individual mind's process is being alleviated in the old way of seeing. Hold on and trust who we are, as we love you and we have you in your hands. We want you to, that's in our hands, not your hands. We also want you to recognize that the truth of who you are is coming forward in a way that you can't currently see, but you're finding the old ways are falling away rapidly. The new is of the unknown, as you have you not existed or lived in the way or the pattern that is coming to you. We're asking you to trust and to alleviate the old pains and sorrows and look forward to the truth of love and compassion. And this is who you're becoming. Hold on tight as you are still on a rocky road. You will soon find the smooth surface that you can glide through easily. We want you to understand that this is coming, and it is coming rapidly. Ask yourself, what is the truth of who you are and who do you want to become? If you wish to let go of the pain and the sorrow, then you will begin to recognize how that will be more strongly held. If you wish to stand in the love and the truth, then you'll find that it becomes more apparent. Allow yourself to be set free so that you can stand in the truth of who you are, and this is what we want you to know today. Okay, so I'm sure that message didn't make a lot of sense because the records are talking in their language. But what I do want you guys to understand is the way that I see what's happening in my language and in my terms is that the last several months have been probably pretty challenging for the majority of us. Old things are breaking down, and no matter who you are, you're going to recognize that the old belief systems are being put in our face, and we're getting put in the positions of understanding that we can stay in those old belief systems that are keeping us hindered or keeping us small or keeping us conformed to be basically the word is coming subservient to others, but it doesn't really mean subservient as in the slave way, but it kind of does. The idea that we are meant to be here on earth to serve everyone else is basically fading in the way that I'm no longer going to sacrifice myself to make sure that you're happy or that I'm serving you in the way that you want me to. What's happening at this time is that we're being put in the position to look more inward and to really look at what really does make me happy. And am I really happy in the life that I'm living, or am I just following the rules and am I just doing what is expected of me? And this is really what's coming to our attention so that we can really let go. And what I'm finding is the attitude of, I'm tired of everybody else and living life the way everybody else is. I'm ready to be happy and live life for me.
North Carolina homeowners, I want to buy your house right now, as is, no matter what condition.
So where this desire is coming from, or where this feeling is coming from, is because the universe is assisting us in breaking down those behaviors of constantly serving everybody else and sacrificing ourselves and not living in our truest happiness. So when we find ourselves not very happy, when we're finding ourselves at our breaking point, when we're finding ourselves feeling or saying, I can't do this anymore, and whether it has to do with a job, whether it has to do with the way the family structure is, the way if it has to do with friends, if it has to do with society, whatever it is, if you're not living a way that you are truly happy, if you're finding that you're having thoughts or emotions that's causing knots in your stomach or your heart to get tight, understand that whatever's going on around you, it's time for you to look at and really look at if that is a cause of something that is causing a little bit of discomfort and unhappiness. And if it is, how are you going to alleviate that discomfort so that you can actually start shedding away these things that can lead you into this place of love and happiness? And we use this term love and we forget how vast the word love is. We have a tendency to use the word love in relationship. The love of a child, the love of a friend, the love of a spouse or a partner. But we forget that love is being able to sit outside and look at this beautiful sunshine and feel that joy and that contentment that sunshine brings us. Love is being in the present moment and seeing the awe and the wonder of all things that are surrounding us. Love is being able to eat a bite of bread and savor the taste and recognize how it brings happiness to us. Love is anything that can bring us joy in the smallest little increment of that awness. Yeah, this feels good. Yes, this is bringing me peace. This is what love is. And if we can really understand and grasp this concept, that we can live in this place of awe always, 24/7. We are meant to be this person, these humans, and this is what we're moving into. Once we begin to understand that this can actually happen, you're going to recognize how you can alleviate the things that are causing you discomfort, are the things that are blocking the idea of the awe. And that's preventing us from seeing the magnificence of the smell of a flower, or watching a bird fly over and seeing in amazement how it can glide on the wind. When we really stop to think about what love consists of, then you'll begin to recognize what you need to let go of. And as I'm sitting here saying this, it's funny, this is February because Valentine's Day, is coming up in February. And we have a tendency, again, to use that term love in a very specific way. So what I'm hoping is that this message can broaden the idea of love and help you to see how you're preventing the fullest magnitude of love that you can achieve because of the belief systems or things that you have in your life that are blocking that. It has to do with our emotions. Has to do with past experiences. It has to do with past conditioning, and it has to do with everything that holds us in a specific pattern that causes us to see only what's right in front of us and not the vastness of all things. So I hope you understand that February, March, and April, the next 3 to 6 months, is this time for us to become more aware of who we can become and what is actually offered to us in our surroundings. And that's the significance of this message. And that's what I want you to understand. Find love. Love in every single aspect of who you are. And you'll begin to recognize what's holding you back from that true love. So I hope this message does find you well. And I am struggling just like everybody else. January has been extremely difficult. It's been a lot of reconstruction. And I know that I'm not the only one that's going through this, but I'm really looking forward to see what's ahead of us, because I can see it so clearly of what's falling away and what's being presented. So I send love to every one of you. And I hope and I wish that everyone can really truly see what they can let go of, so that we can stand in this vastness of beauty and awness. And
Okay, let's just take a deep breath right here and right now. And look, if you need a few moments, go ahead and stop this recording. Get yourself some water and then come back to me. All right. So, as I said earlier, in order for me to, I guess I would say, have the courage to bring these types of transmissions, I have to see myself. Right now, I'm going to reset. I have to see myself just sitting in conversation with a sacred sister friend. And so, sister or brother, look, I know that there were many things as you were listening that possibly resonated so clearly and so deeply, without a doubt, right? But I believe that, the revelation that has come through this and understanding how we should operate from a higher realm as we move through our existence and our experience, right? Whichever ways, look back at your own timeline, of how you've been guided and what your role is. And I'm really speaking to healers at this moment. Those of you that have been um, certified, PhD, diplomaed, do all kinds of study, tend to stay in our heads with the work, and we do our work. Maybe you've written the books, or maybe you are, out there in the social world, social medias, and all of that. And that's cool. But at the end of the day, look, people are coming to us, coming to you from different understandings and layers, and you know what we are operating in these times right now. We've got to call on that divine power, right? We've got to allow ourselves to share and speak and be able to listen and to guide from a higher way. You don't need to take any more certifications, degrees, or nothing. You've been equipped, okay? You got the ammunition that's necessary to be able to serve. And provision will be made for all of us in the way that we need it to be made. As I speak to you, I'm hearing the transmission of Holy Spirit through my heart chamber. I have been doing a work, um, you know, in the third dimension, my salon business. And my appointment calendar has expanded with regard to no appointments, which, instead of seeing it as, wow, I don't have any appointments, it's given me the opportunity to have an abundance of time to sit in listening and being guided. And I'm going to close up a little bit here. What's fueling me is that, look, there's a poem that I wrote a long time ago called If This Were My Last Day. So, we're not, every day ain't promise, right? You came on this earth, we were born, we were raised up, we were conditioned, lovingly at the same time, all the different things that you've gone through, and then awakening happened. Some of us came on this planet fully awake, and maybe you were supported by those that raised you in your intuitiveness and your gifts, but some of us, those gifts were suppressed. And then the reawakening happened. So, yeah, it's cool that, we have found our way in these different directions to spiritual awareness. But now it's the time to operate in that. Use the tools. I'm looking up, trying to find that poem. If This Were My Last Day. Um, Trying to find it. Hold on. Let me see. I have a blog called Encourage My Soul. Encourage My Soul. Sorry, y'all, because the way that spirit works through me, and you know, I'm sorry I don't have you not seeing me. No, I'm not apologizing. You don't need to see me. You know, I don't need all the lights. I don't need all the lights that are necessary. You know what I'm saying? The setup that's the bells and whistles and all that kind of stuff here. This is in real time. Back in 2011, I channeled this writing. So hear me out. It says, if this were my last day, if this were my last day, what would I say? What would I do? How would I pray? I would say that I love you. I would make that last call. I would embrace all the memories of having known you at all. I would say you have helped me to heal from my soul, that you captured my heart, healed help my fears to unfold. If this were my last day, what would I say? What would I do? And how would I pray? I would tell you the truth. Some things you've not heard, left with no unanswered questions. My actions speak louder than words. So as I sit and bring this transmission to you, I ask your question. I ask you the question: if this were your last day, and you had not stepped forward in your calling, if this were your last day and tomorrow you were in the spiritual realm, would you have regret for not stepping out in confidence in knowing in the way that you've been called to be a vessel of service in this world? Huh? Even if you were meant to come here to speak life or to be a, a healing post for just one other spirit. Maybe that's all you came here to do. Or maybe you came here to bring forth children. Maybe you came here to be a divine partner. Maybe you came here to run big business or a small business. Whatever. You didn't come here to just work, collect, pay taxes and die. Yeah. Come on now. Let's close this out. Take a deep breath. And I leave you with this affirming prayer. It is in this present moment that I give divine thanks for those that attended and sat and in the listening room. May they be activated by every word and the space in between. May their vibration activate all through their spiritual bodies. May they be activated to take a next step. May they be excuse me, activated to pull from the third dimension and get on the elevator to the higher realms that resides within them with a knowing that surpasses all understanding. Thank you for the divine assistance, the divine team that's already in place, going before us in all that we do. May each listener, anything that they have need of, remember to go into the chambers of your heart. Sit in the throne that is there. Let the illumination of the Creator wash down over you. Put on the headphones of the divine channel and listen in the way that Creator speaks to you and through you. Ashe, Amen, Mahalo, and so it is.